Hello, everyone. Double session today. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to Uncovering Hidden Healing. I'm your host, Arletha Lizana, and I'm so excited to have you join us today for another enlightening session in our series. As many of you know, this series is about more than just exploring historical healing practices. It's about reconnecting to the rich, ancient traditions that are often overlooked or forgotten. I am a healer and educator myself, and I personally experienced the profound impact of natural and traditional medicine in my life, which is why I felt called to create this space where we could all learn, grow, and heal together. Today's session is a special one. We'll be diving into the cultural tales of healing, the Ashanti traditions from the heart of Ghana. Storytelling is an ancient art form that not only entertains, but also teaches, heals, and connects people to their roots. In Ashanti culture, stories are not just stories, they are tools for healing and understanding life. I'm honored to introduce today's guest, Evans Owusu. Evans was born and raised in Kumasi, Ghana, the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom, and he is the co-founder of E&Z, a business specializing in Ghana tours, real estate, development, and property management in the Yaw Asantewa community. With over a decade of study under a traditional healer, Evans has immersed himself in the cultural wisdom and healing practices of his people. And he's here today to share some of those stories and insights with us. So grab your tea. I have my tea. I'm all ready to go. Grab your notebook and let's immerse ourselves in the healing power of the Ashanti traditions and storytellings. So welcome, Evans. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. So before we dive into all these great stories you're going to talk about, introduce yourself to our audience and share a bit about your background, both as a businessman and also a student of traditional healing.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Uh,
Yeah.
even yeah, this is my first time being live, so we're gonna
No,
be
it's good. We're here. This is our community. It's a
yeah.
conversation.
Anyway,
It's fun. Yes.
right. I'm Evans Owusu from Ghana. I'm
Mhm.
from Asokore in Afijasi in Kwabre Sector District. Um, I was um, I was born in Kumasi, raised in Kumasi. Um, and then I'll be living in I've lived with Nana Abbas. He's a big traditional healer.
Mhm.
He's a priest, so he heals people through spirituality and then herbs and all of that. So his is branded like he's in all over. So I've lived with him for the over 20 years.
Mhm.
And then I traveled to Qatar. I lived in Qatar for a while, went back to Ghana, started the business, ENZ, trying to put communities together.
Mhm.
Like you said, I don't have to go there again. So I've been working back and forth, and then now I'm here in Florida.
Mhm.
And then I'm happy and excited to be live to have this
Yes. Uh,
conversation with you to
yeah.
share
Thank you.
what I
Yeah.
know with the
Good
people.
stuff. That's right. This is great. So, yep. So, all the way from Kumasi by way of Qatar, by way of back to Kumasi by way of Florida. So, you're here with us today. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you. So, Evan, storytelling has been such a powerful part of the Ashanti culture, with tales passed down through generations, holding lessons, values, and even healing. To start, can you explain how storytelling in Ashanti culture serves as a tool for healing and how it continues to play a role in your community today?
Yeah, it's been very powerful and it's been very good for us growing up in Africa, Ghana, Kumasi specifically. The tradition while growing up, our parents, the people around us, and everything, what they taught us. Like I remember when we were kids, when I'm sick, my mom will always want to wake me up very early in the morning, like 5 a.m., and then she would tell me to go shower
Mhm.
because there's a saying that when you're sick and then you go to bed, the sickness actually go away. They go to feed themselves, like the spirit of the sickness goes to for feeding in the middle of the night. So, and then they will come back in the
Wow.
morning. So when you go to bed by 5 a.m., when you woke up by 5 a.m. and shower, by the time the sickness come back to take place in your body, you're already up and shower. So
Wow.
there's no place for them to come in, and then you start getting better.
What?
So
Wow.
yeah, my mom will always gonna wake me up very early in the morning to go shower so that I can be better quicker. So and then at the same time, like shower itself, it play a very important role in our health,
Mhm.
but it seems like people don't really pay attention to it. But growing up, they always let us shower twice a day. It also has a healing, like when you're sick and then you shower, you are dragging away the sickness.
Right.
It's not just the water that the water is life. So when you're pouring the water in your hair, going flowing down to your knee, it's
Mhm.
also driving away the sickness. So I'm gonna tell you the story about this is a true story that I was there, that I seen it,
Okay.
that
Okay.
it works. So, like I said, I'm gonna speak about both the spirituality and then
Mhm.
physical. Like Odun Sini that doesn't have, they just use the herbs to
Mhm.
heal, and then the ones that also use both to
Mhm.
heal.
Mhm.
So there's this guy that I know. I don't want to mention the names because
Okay. Yeah.
it's
Don't mention his name. I don't want him to come find us. So
right.
you make up a name.
It's internet, so everybody can watch it anytime. So I won't mention names. So he
Okay.
was sick. The sickness was that bad that he was going crazy, and then
Mhm.
his tongue was coming out. That was my first time seeing somebody having a long. I don't know that the tongue is long like that.
Mhm.
It's long. It can come all the way here to your
Wow.
chest. Yeah, our tongue is very long.
Wow.
Um, I think that was my first time I seen somebody tongue coming out long like that. And then when it comes long like that, you cannot. There's a spit always coming out because your mouth is already open. Um, so they called his brother that your brother is sick, so we are taking him to your grandfather. Their grandfather is a big time traditional healer. He's no more, but he was a big time healer. The time that I
Mhm.
knew him, he's already an old man, like maybe 80 years old.
Mhm.
So we drove down there, and with the sick guy, we went there. He's crazy. He cannot think for himself. He can't
Mhm.
do anything,
And his
and then
tongue's hanging out.
yeah, his tongue is hanging out.
Yeah.
So the grandfather came out from his room. He's a priest slash a healer.
Mhm.
Like I said, both ways. So he came out from his room, and then we tell him what happened, and then he looked at him, and then he went back to his room, and then he grabbed a motor, motor, the black powder.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he grabbed a black powder. It was a lot. He put on the calabash, and then he soaked it with water,
Mhm.
and then he came out, and then he told us what it's about to do. We should set our time within 3 minutes. If the tongue did not reverse back in, and then the madness did not drive away, nobody on this planet can kill the boy.
Wow.
So yeah, it was scary. I was like, what? 3 minutes?
Okay. Right.
So we went all there, and then they set a timer, and then he poured the motor, miss. He poured on the guy face and his hair, flowed
Mhm.
like taking a bath. And
Mhm.
within before 3 minutes, the tongue is back in. The guy, the madness, everything is gone, like gone. He's same person, like unbelievable. So I
Right.
was like, how did this happen? Like, so saying this to say that we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of um, what I'm trying to say is that there's no sickness on this planet that tradition, when it goes to the herb, our herbs, our natural, like our old ways cannot cure it.
Mhm.
I know the orthodox is powerful, but orthodox always have some side effects and all of that.
Mhm.
But when it comes to the tradition one, the herbs and all of that, there's no side effect. The guy is well to today.
Wow. And it's funny because, you think like it's such a great story. You're like a story, but you're like, I was there. I saw it. It's a
I
thing.
saw
Like,
it. Yeah,
yes,
I saw it.
it
So,
actually happened. Wow.
so
Yeah.
when it comes to the motto, so I'm gonna break it down. When it comes to motto, it is blended with some roots of
Mhm.
trees.
Mhm.
Um, that some of the trees are very powerful that we don't even pay attention of. There's a tree there's this tree called Udiaba. It's very powerful, very very powerful. Like even for you to get it, sometimes in Nana's place, maybe once a year or so, we go to the forest to go look for the herbs.
Mhm.
So this particular tree, there's two. There's one Udiaba and there's one called um, I forget the name of it. I will remember it and I will tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Ahomachem. Yeah, ahomachem. It's a kind of it's like a rope, but it's big. Is it? Yeah, it's very powerful. So we have to then have to pour libation, and has to seek the permission from the thing, because the thing is already a shrine itself. The tree is
That's right.
already a shrine itself. Very powerful. So they
Yeah.
have to pour libation and seek for permission before we take it.
That's right.
And then they have to perform some rituals with the chicken, throw the chicken for the chicken. If
Mm-hmm.
the that tree accepted it, the chicken will lay on his back and then
Mm-hmm.
face the heavens, like the belly will face the heavens. Yeah. And then indicating that you can use it, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you're going to do with it, it will work in a similar.
Yep.
So this tree, all this thing comes together to make the mortar, so you can tell the mortar will be very powerful. Very, very powerful. It can kill anything.
Yeah.
So I also, there's a saying that particular tree, if you put it in your car, there's no way you're gonna have an accident. Even if you got an accident, you're not gonna die from it.
Mm-hmm.
It protects you from this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much that are in back in Africa, in Ghana specifically, living in Nana's house. We have seen. So I also seen in Nana's house. I also
Mm-hmm.
seen this lady was sick. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this one is a little bit. This one is a, a little bit, but
Okay.
I'll
We're
blend it.
listening.
Okay, I'm gonna blend it. So I mean, it's not scary, but it's scary. Like you see here,
Mm-hmm.
in the Western world, someone has to go to hospital. Say, okay, you're sick of something, and then the doctor will say you have 3 days to live.
Mm-hmm.
So how did our elders used to know this? They didn't. We don't have the system to check this and this, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
way of knowing all of that. So the smell of the person. So me and Ochiame was standing there, and this lady passed us, and Ochiame said, "This lady is dead." And I was like, "How did you know that?" And then he said, "He's gone because of the smell that she has." I say, "What smell she has?" She has a smell of a dead body. The lady was sick already. She's been sick for a while, but and after 3 days later, the lady was gone. And I was like, "But you told me. How did you know?" He says, "Yeah, because there's all over the woman."
Mm-hmm.
So um, back over there, we they have us. We have the good parts. Also, when something bad is coming, they can also sense it. The
Mm-hmm.
smell of the person and all of that. It can also sense if the person gonna leave or not gonna leave. So that was another part of it. That's another part. I'm not gonna go into more
Yeah.
into that, scare anybody. But our ways of living before our forefathers, the way of they were living was very, very powerful. Like when I was living in Nana's house, sometimes when you go there, we don't wear shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see, when we go to the back of the shrine over there, we don't wear shoes. And then I was told, and also I was told that sometimes I don't know how many people that they even shower and they wash their feet, like they shower
Mm-hmm.
their feet and under the underside of their feet. It also heals you. It
Mm-hmm.
heals like someone who has a waist pains. If you have a waist pains,
Mm-hmm.
you always complain about your waist. We were told like if you take a shower and then you wash your feet, it also cure waist pain.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so in Ashanti culture, I, some people doesn't even know, but like I said, I was
Mm-hmm.
living in where there's spirituality, and then it comes to the healing, using the herbs to heal. Also, it's also over there. So it kind of teaches us all of these ways how to live and live healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, you said so much. I didn't want to stop you because it was like a lot of information in there. So like you talked about
Well,
so many things that were so important. So I mean some of the things that I heard was the importance of water,
mhm,
so taking
mhm,
a shower and people not understand it's not just about physical cleansing,
mhm,
it's about spiritual cleansing. You talked about the story of how you need to get, if you're sick you need to get up early, and shower before that sickness returns. I was like, wow, it's like a lot of things you said and like the stories that you're given. So I mean, I think that what you're pointing to is that in terms of like storytelling and traditional healing practices, that there are, cultural things that people may not think are healing. Like they don't know that's something to heal. Like you just said, to wash the bottom of your feet. Like you should wash your feet, right?
Right.
But that has a healing significance. So what other things do you have that we think is just everyday life, but it's actually healing types of things? What other stories do you have?
Yeah. So the daily basis life that it's we don't know, like the people who wake up early in the morning, like I said, who wake up early in the morning and then you shower in the morning right after you get up from the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get up from bed, you want to go to work, you take a bath. You cleansing, you are cleansing your body, because when you go to bed, we say in a can, like when you sleep, your spirit or your soul go
Yeah.
away.
Yep.
It go surrounding, like you had a dream and then you hear in America, but you're in Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
It's your soul, surrounding around. So when it comes back, it has done so much stuff. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
cleanse it so that your
Mm-hmm.
spirit can settle. It also help your health in a certain point. So I told Zinga, I always every morning, like I always wanna shower. Even if you shower last night and wake up in the morning, you need to shower.
Oh,
It is
yeah. That's
because
right.
your soul have been circling around everywhere. It's tired, and also it will bring some negative stuff around you and sickness and all of that. So you have to shower. So it's something that it is mandatory
Mm-hmm.
to do when you wake up in the morning.
That's right. Yeah.
And then put your feet over there and then just one there in there and shower. It also helps you your daily life. But people feel like just hygienic and all of that stuff that you
Yeah.
do, but it also help your health.
That's right.
Yeah. And then not only your health, also your spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
like your soul and all of that. And then also there's one story that I want to also share about our daily life, the things that we do. Growing up, we told us we shouldn't by 6 p.m. we should be finished eating by 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and then we shouldn't sweep by 6 p.m. By 6 p.m. you're supposed to have everything done in your house. You don't sweep, you don't eat, you don't do anything. You don't turn on your pot, your
Mm-hmm.
stove or whatever. Every fire has to cease. And then they told us, because if you don't do that, you are calling the dead to
Mm-hmm.
come. But they were using that to tell us it is not healthy. It's not healthy to eat late.
Mm-hmm.
But to us, we think if we do it, we are calling the dead to come. But growing up and understanding all the stuff they were telling us is they don't want you to eat late,
Yeah.
because if you eat late, it is not healthy for your body.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
understand? So they will put, like, we go to the bathroom, shower, and then we be singing. In our culture, in Akan, you don't sing when you are taking shower.
Hmm.
Yeah, you don't sing when you're taking shower. Why? They said when you sing, you are calling dwarfs or you're calling the dead.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But the importance of it is that the soap is already chemicals.
Mm-hmm.
If you're singing, some can go to your mouth, and then you you know when you
Yeah.
sing it, some can, some soap, it's chemicals gonna go to your body, and then you don't know what's gonna happen to you. So they don't want you to sing. They don't want you to sing in the bathroom when you are taking shower,
Mm-hmm.
because and then they'll put some scary thing around it. And then okay, I'm going back to this, like, and then also the importance of our health, and then also our well-being each and every day is like in the evening when you are driving and then you crossing the bridge,
Mm-hmm.
it's advised to horn, like like
Keep your
you know
horn.
yeah, you beat your horn, yeah, before you cross the river, because all the rivers, I know, so I'm not gonna. But
Yeah.
our viewers who are watching us, maybe they think every river is just a river. There doesn't,
That's
but
right.
every river has a spirit in it
That's right.
that is from God. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah, it's from God. So the river in the middle of the night that you pass in the river, that's the time they're also coming out. That's the time they're coming out to also sit and get a fresh air, sit
Mm-hmm.
there, watch what is happening, or maybe watching over the city wherever it is, watching over. So when you are driving through the bridge and then you don't peep your horn, you can hit one of if the river is a female, you might hit maybe his kid,
Oh, wow.
or by her, which means when you do that too, you're gonna have implication of it.
Mm-hmm.
So you beep, you tap your horn so that
Mm-hmm.
they can clear the way for you, and then you keep on moving
Yeah.
because they're there. Yes. So
Uh,
anytime you're passing the river, they told us when you're passing the river, because they are also can give you implications. Some people are sick, they don't know why they get sick, but
mm-hmm.
it's because of something that they did that they don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
some
and they didn't know. Yeah, exactly. So it's best to follow what the tradition says to beat the
tradition
horn
says
because you don't
it
know.
helps you,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
helps you to live long, it helps you to live healthy, because these are the things that are giving us the health. The same stuff can also give you implications.
Mm-hmm.
So you avoid all these things. So in a can, when you're passing the river, even if you're walking, not passing the river, you should say "ago."
I'll
You say
go. Hmm.
"ago," and then
Yeah, you're coming. Yes.
you come in and you pass this, and then you go your way.
Mhm.
So at the same time, um I will go back to when I was leaving Nana's house.
Okay, wait, you got a lot. Okay, let me stop it again. I got
Okay,
some
all right,
more.
go
Okay,
ahead.
remember that one. You remember
Okay,
that one. So I
right.
just wanted to mention to our audience that, some things that you talked about in terms of the soul. So there's a sum sum and there's a okra, right? So
Yeah.
okra is your universal spirit. So it's your personal connection to the divine spirit. The sum sum is like your personal spirit, right? So some people might think of it as like a guardian angel or something like that, but it's your personal spirit. So when he says when we go to sleep, that spirit can travel in the night, like it spiritually travels, right? So it may go out and do whatever. And so that's why you need to make sure that you shower because it can encounter anything. So you're showering as soon as you wake up to cleanse, what may have happened in the night. So many of us have dreams. You may dream that you're fighting, that you're running, that you're traveling, that you're dancing. So you may dream that you're doing things. Sometimes that's actually your soon doing things, out. I have a funny story about Nana Abbas, and he told us, one time that, some of the spirits that were with him were out. They went to the club to see how it was, to see what was going on there. But just the concept, that spirit can travel. So I wanted to tell our viewers about that. I also wanted to talk about the tree. So you talked about pouring libation to the tree to ask the tree's permission, and I think that that's so important because we know that nature they have their own spirits, they have their own energy, and so you can't just chop down the tree just because you want the medicine or you feel like it. You need to ask the tree's permission. So I thought and then that makes, if the tree says yes, that makes the medicine even more powerful. So I'm thankful that you brought that up. And so these are like spiritual concepts, but they're embedded in the stories that you're telling. So a
Right.
lot of us in the U.S., we grew up hearing Anansi the spider stories. So Anansi actually comes from Ghana. It's a Ghana story.
Yeah.
So, Anansi the spider was this trickster that kind of told us stories, but it kept us out of trouble, so it's a way to kind of live your life. So, like as the co-founder of ENZ, it connects people to Ghana and to Ashanti culture through tours and community development. So, how do you integrate Ashanti traditions and storytellings into the experiences that you offer through your business?
Okay, so because of my experiences, because I lived in spirituality world
Yeah,
for many years.
spirituality world. Right.
I've lived in the spirituality world for
Mhm,
like 20 years in Nana's house.
mhm,
Not only that, because and then also because we go festivals, we meet different kinds of people, we see
mhm,
things, and then life experiences and everything. So it kind of helps me a lot because whatever I'm doing, because of the our tradition, how we grow up, how we taught us, how we see implications when you're doing something for somebody. If you do it wrong, the implication you can get. People also see, we were advised that some stuff, like I said earlier, a lot of things that we do that we think, oh, this just a second just happened. It happened, but you don't know the source. You don't know how it comes. You think you just sick. Maybe it had a source from something.
mhm,
Um, in Africa, in Ghana, especially our tradition, um, everything has implications. we believe that not all sickness is just a sickness, like you just sick. The sickness have a source. How did you get the sickness from? How it happened? Maybe you have offended somebody. Maybe somebody have speak ill about you. Somebody have cursed you. Somebody have, there's a whole lot of. So when you are, this shaped me because the world that I was living in shaped me for me to be straight with everybody. If it is yes, I say it is yes. If it's no, I say it is no. I don't have to, blend it with it.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, that's what shaped me. That's what shaped me to be. When we started the ENZ, I was able to manage to make sure whatever we're doing, we do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
We do the right thing
That's
by
right.
the person. The person, I have to have the person interest first,
Mm-hmm.
because being truthful or being having the person interest, that's where you're gonna expand your business, what you're doing, whatever you're doing. It's like basically my yes is yes and my no is no.
Mm-hmm.
That is what helps me when we started the ENZ, to do it. And then our spirit, I know, and then the spirit form is guided us also through what we're doing. We sick, and
Mm-hmm.
then the spirit will say, "Oh, we go." Anytime I go there, I will ask about my business,
Mm-hmm.
how it's doing. Anytime I enter the room, and then they will like, just be truthful,
That's right. Mm-hmm.
just be truthful.
That's right.
So yeah, and then that's what I think it has shaped the ENZ to today, that we're still on board.
Mm-hmm.
Working with half of the people here and even in Ghana. I have a friends that also they are in Ghana, that they let me help them build their
Mm-hmm.
homes and all of that, even though they have a family over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
yeah,
they know you're trustworthy. So and they know,
right,
like you said. So you mentioned a couple of things. So this concept of their business itself has a spirit. So it has its own energy. But the fact that you're checking in, using the spirituality to check in on your business to see what you need to do is an important concept. People might not really understand that, your business itself becomes its own energy, its own spirit. So you have to kind of check in, to see what is needed on that spiritual side to make sure your business does well. And
right,
then you also mentioned just, telling the truth and speaking truth, and that's about character. So if you want to have, a good business, you have to have good character, you have to be trustworthy. So yeah, thank you. So let's see, give us an example of how storytelling or other Ashanti healing practices has impacted someone visiting or working with you through your business.
um, yeah. Let me think about that. So much.
Yeah.
So yeah, so much, because I remember one of my guy that I work with right now. He's the one on the grounds. He's my contractor. He's the one who actually did the work, the mason work, build the thing, have the team building up. His name is Fajo Alhassan. Yeah, but I call him Fajo. Yeah. So we were working on one project. And then it's like he didn't come to work for like 3 4 days. And
Mm,
then when I call him, he always have a story. And then I'm like, so I was getting a little bit annoying with him. So, but I didn't want to tell him, but
mhm,
I kept it by myself.
mhm,
I wasn't telling him. And then few days, I think a week later, he came to me, and then he said, "Boy, I have a conversation with you." And I said, "All right." He sit down, he says, "I had a dream." I said, "What?" He says, "I had a dream that you were having an issue with me about
mhm,
the job." And I was like, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, I had a dream that we were going back and forth, and you were mad about me,
yeah.
about work and everything." I said, "Man, that's exactly what I was going to tell you today. I was,
Mhm,
because you were not showing up, and the people want to see something on the ground. It's like somebody sends you money and the
mhm,
person don't see anything. It's like, I will feel way. I will feel a way. I want
mhm.
to see something happening." So he saw it in his dream. He saw it. So
Right.
basically, it's connected to everything that we're just talking about, like the
Mhm,
spirituality, because the life we are living, we are not only living by the fresh, but we are living in this, both ways, the spirituality and then the fresh in a certain point. So I feel like everything that we think about and everything we want to do, it also translates. It's also translating the spiritual realm to, to speak to the person that we wanna talk to, or whatever. So basically, my teachings from where I was living, it has also helped me in a way of, um sometimes I do it, but without even knowing it. Like, go to bed and then start thinking about something, and then someone will come to me and then tell me what I was, thinking about, or when I was meditating about in my bed. It
Yeah.
is a one word.
Yeah.
So, growing up, I knew all of that, but I didn't know how it works. But living in these places, Dana's place, that's
Hmm.
where I've lived my life. So most of my story, it will base from that.
Hmm.
Most of my teacher, apart from my mom's side, the rest is from Nana's place. So
Hmm.
everything I know about spirituality and then healing and all of that, the stories and everything, it's a lot of stories that we can tell. If we're gonna tell all the stories, we won't
Yeah.
be finished today.
Right. It's too many for one day. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's too
I'm
many.
gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up the audience, to see if they have any questions. So while we're waiting for them to add their questions to the chat, I wanted to see if you can give us another, story that maybe is a shrine story that's related to a particular deity or spirit or something that talks about, like, what they do or how they came into existence, anything, so
Yeah.
like a particular story that you may tell. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let's move to that. So, there's this spirit. Okay, so let me tell you about the spirits. Even though they might be your spirit, and they are your spirit, that you are using them, or you ask them to do whatever they want to do for you, but you always have to be careful. You have to treat them the way they taught you, like the rules and regulation around it. So I learned about rules and regulation around spirituality. I don't play with it. I don't play with it. If you're doing work with spirit, is different from you're doing work with a human being. I think it is paused. Okay. So if you're doing, can you hear me? It has paused. Okay. Anyways, that's good. Can you hear me? And that's good. Can you hear me? Okay. So
So I gotta, you know what? My internet went down for a second. So you gotta start again. I'm sorry. I missed it. So you gotta start the story. Okay.
okay, good. I was starting a story from how the importance of treating your spirit right if you
Okay.
have a spirit,
Okay.
and then also, um, there's a difference between the spirit and then the flesh, like the human.
Yeah.
The priest is different from the spirit. The
Hmm.
spirit doesn't do their way as the human being, or you the priest, you does your things. They are very straightforward. They are principle. If they tell you this one, if it is blue, it is blue. There's no way they're going to change it. So okay, so this story is funny. Okay, this is not a story. All right.
Hmm.
So Nana said, so we were going to festival, and then he actually wanted a brand new money. He wanted a brand new money to, when we go, when people are dancing, he throw money on, some of the priests,
Hmm.
and then uh, he didn't have brand new money. He has the money, he has money, but he didn't have a brand new notes. So he
Yeah, like
went to,
clean, crisp bills. I get it. Like
right,
new. Hmm. Hmm.
yes. So he went to one of the spirit, called Figgy. I think you know the Figgy. He has
Uh-huh.
all kinds of money around the world. Every world he has their currency.
Hmm.
So he went to his bag. He has a bag that has a lot of brand new cash in it. So he went there to borrow some from there, and then he said, "When I come back, I'ma bring it back." So we went to the festival, and then Nana has a lot in his mind, so he forget about taking back the money, going to replace the money where
Hmm.
he took it from, and then he be living his life. So one night there was a house. Nana lives in a hill, so the
Hmm.
story building, so he can see afar. So he saw one of the house, nearby house, that he think there was a guys. I think they were armed robbers. They wanted to go rob that house. So he saw it. No, Nana. Sometimes you wake up
Mhm.
early in the middle of the night, nobody sees him. So he
Right.
was laying on his wall. So he saw what was happening over there, and then he went in and took his gun, and then he shot a warning shot on the air.
Mhm.
So these guys run away by. He shoot on the air. The bullet actually went to the air and came back to
Uh-huh.
where he was standing, passed through his tummy, and then hit his window where he was standing. And then yeah, the window was smashed
Mhm.
inside his room, but nothing was messing in the room. But the window was like the bullet came all the way back. A bullet that he shot in the air came backwards. So he said now he's panicking, and then he put the gun down,
Mhm.
and then he went back to his room, and then he started laying down, and then the spirit came this and started laughing. You see, if you don't go put my money back,
Right. Right.
if you don't go place my money back,
Right.
you won't like what I'm gonna do to you, right?
That's right.
So
Still
the
get my
same
money.
night he went back there and replaced the money over there. So
Oh
he
my
called us
goodness.
in the morning, and then he was telling us the story, and then he was basically it was an um it was an advice to us around it, because he says if they can do this to me, how much you in a certain point. So you need to be. We all have to be very careful when we are dealing with them,
Mhm.
because they see everything. So you don't mess with them with anything. So basically, it's like you don't mess with the spirit in a certain
That's
point. And
right. Mhm.
yes, and then also when he's performing, usually some kids may have a sickness. Some kids
Mhm.
can pass out and all that. So his cloth, the bakatari,
Mhm.
they'll bring it to him, and then he can use the bakatari to cover them like this
Mhm.
and dance a little bit and leave it, and then the kid will be okay.
Mhm.
Will come to normal, and then there will be no sickness anymore. And then the
Mhm.
powder, you see sometimes when he's performing, you see the powder they put on him.
Mhm.
Uh, the powder also after I get to the body, because remember the body, the spirit have taken over. So everything that comes to the body of the spirit is like it can heal. So some people, some women that they need kids, some women that they, their business is not going on well, they will take
Mhm.
some of the powder left on the floor and then go spray in their businesses, and then the business will start moving.
Mhm.
Um, some of them they want babies, so they'll apply it on their tummy, and
Mhm.
then a few months, years later, and then they will be pregnant, and then they will come and give their testimony. But remember, they don't like I was watching your show earlier
Mhm.
with you and Auntie Faiza. He said any good healer doesn't advertise.
Right.
You know,
That's
so
right.
you're never gonna find him on the radio or the TV or here
Mhm.
advertising. Oh, come to me, I'm powerful. I want to do this. I've never seen him do none of that.
Yeah, you don't have to
I've
do that.
never seen him do none of that, because the people who actually knows, those who knows, you're gonna find when you are in need, you will find a way and you come. So
That's right.
when he came to Meduma, Meduma was nothing. Okay, Meduma was like a
Mhm.
village, nothing, because all
Mhm.
the evil spirits that are surrounding the area, they have gone to the meeting. They don't want this particular town to move forward. But that's where Nana chose to leave. And
Mhm.
according to his story, like when he went to the town, he went to the chief, the person who owns the area, the chief. So he said, "Hey, I need a land in your place. My spirit want me to live here." And he says,
Mhm.
"This small boy, what can you?" He was a young boy. They didn't believe him.
Yeah.
And then
Mhm.
they said the chief is sleeping. So he was waiting for the chief to get up. And then he realized that the chief is not even coming out. And then the tree there was a tree in
And
front
they
of
were.
the house, and then he started tearing the leaves, and then um what do you call it? Trying to shake it, and then the leaves turn into money. So the entire house was, everybody wants money. Everybody's trying to
Mhm.
grab as much as they can. So the chief heard it, and then he came down, and then he finally sees him. He said, "You know what? The land is over there. Go take wherever."
Take whatever you want. Yeah. 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 So, let me, I'm going to shift to the US for a little while, then we'll come back. So, since you've been here in the US, what things have you seen then that make you kind of like, you can say in culture or in nature that remind you of home? So any plants that you see that are growing in the like US, or any like cultural traditions you see Black Americans do, are there any things like connection to like Ashanti to Ghana to home?
Yes, I have seen a lot. I have seen so much. US got more trees, man. I always say it when the first time that I was getting here, I see the just I thought US doesn't have no tree, but they have a lot of stuff here. Um, Here, especially here in Florida, I've been have the privilege to work with the county, so I've been driving around so many places, and then there's many herbs that I see that people don't really pay attention to it. They don't. I mean, I don't blame them because they don't know. It
Mm-hmm.
is they have so much herbs here that I even brought some in the house. The herbs that is protection. You can do your own protection in your house and all of that. Is
Mm-hmm.
called this one Yinya. I found Yinya here. I was like, and then the guy that I was with was peeing on it. But this Yinya, that's what I said. People carry.
Take it out. You're like, what are you doing? Don't pee on that. We
Right.
need it.
I told him that he doesn't believe it. So I didn't want to. I don't know. I don't want to. I didn't want to put my culture in somebody's neck. So I says, I think you don't have to pee on it. But he don't know what I'm talking about. So he went ahead. But the thing is, these leaves, when you pee on it, it can give you a problem. That's what I said. A lot of people have issues, but they don't know where to get it from.
Get it from. That is so
So
interesting.
that leaves, when you pee on it, you can get a prostrate.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You can
So
get
I
tissue,
told him
yeah.
that and then it kills prostrate too. Like if you have
Mm-hmm.
a prostrate, that leaves curing.
Wow.
You blend it with palm wine, and
Mm-hmm.
then you drink it. And not only that, some gonorrhea,
Mm-hmm.
all of that.
Yeah.
When you drink it, you're gonna pee everything out, and
Mm-hmm.
you good. So he didn't know, but I've seen a lot of herbs here, that it is I, I don't think it is that's the thing that I see here, and then I feel like because here people don't really know about it, so I feel like it is more authentic too, because it is like it is there. You guys reserve your forest and all of that, trying to. So I feel like it is more natural, more effective,
Mm-hmm.
because now when you go to Africa, everybody trying to be a traditional,
Mm-hmm.
everybody trying to be a
Yeah.
herbalist or herba,
Yeah.
So they put things together that it doesn't even work in a certain
Mm-hmm.
point. So the herbs have been. You have to go very far. You have to go very far to find the good ones, the organic ones, in a certain point. But so the connection here in the US, the thing that I find it in common is the trees, and then the herbs that I see. I
Mm-hmm.
found very refreshing when I'm walking in it. I feel very refreshing. It doesn't. It makes me feel like I'm in some part of Ghana that is, like,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's like a village, but beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, because it's like
Yeah,
we don't know that these plants are healing over here, so we're just doing whatever. We're like walking by them every day. We're peeing on them. We're doing whatever. Like we don't really know,
right,
about
right.
the medicines there. So, in a way, it's good because it's untouched. Like people don't know to use it. So but we do need to learn to respect the medicine. Respect the nature a little bit more.
No.
And be
Mhm.
aware of the healing.
Yeah.
So what are some things that we can do over here that to help us connect more deeply with healing practices in our tradition? What
Okay.
can we?
So yeah, I think here people has to align themselves with the more herbs, because
Mm-hmm.
when I came here, I see like a lot of people. I mean, there's a sickness everywhere in the world, but I feel like everywhere I pass, I see cancer center. I see this one, this thing. I mean, it's like so much people. The food. Remember, the food is not that.
Yeah.
This thing. So a lot of people catching some illness that is not supposed to be. So I feel like the people has to go back to their root, and then learn about the herbs, even if it's one. The thing is, the herbs, like when we're taking it, it's not like sometimes you might think you are healing this type of sickness that you are praying for, but it is healing something else too in your system. you know
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like the people here has to be more serious about the herbs, and then also respect whatever nature around you. And then I think you're going to be more connected to the spirit world, and then also your health system. I
Mm.
feel like, because another thing I'm going to tell you, this story I'm going to tell you too, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So when you are living by a river, right? I know you live by a river. So when you are living by a river, you always have to keep it clean.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah.
right.
So you always have to keep it clean. And the more you keep it clean, it also helps you. It
Mm-hmm.
helps you in a way that you don't even realize it. Sometimes there might be sickness coming in your way. Sometimes it might be death coming in your way. Sometimes it might be something terrible coming in your way. But because you are treating the river or whatever nature around you right, they always clear it on your way. They clear it. Even if it's coming,
Mm-hmm.
they clear it on your way. So people, especially here, I see every corner there's a river. I mean, even if it is fake, but remember, there's water is already spirit. Water is
Mm-hmm.
already from God. Is water is life. So
That's
even
right.
if it's a pool, it's water. It is something. So people
Mm-hmm.
have to pay attention on these things. Is because it's a pond in your yard or
Mm-hmm.
your compound, that doesn't give you a right to treat it like just a pond. So I'm doing anything with it. Just treat it right, and then when you treat it right, they will treat you right back. Like you, I know you have you live by a river. They can test you anytime. In Ghana, we have many stories, and then we know
Yeah.
people that they have encountered. Okay, my not direct experience, but I was there. I left it, and it happens. So the community we are building, right? There's a river there. We were doing a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
We were doing a bridge over there. So the lucky thing is that we first told the chief. So the chief came down and then pour libation. And then when you pour libation, you want to also see if they are actually accepted it. So the
Mm-hmm.
chief cut the chicken and throw it. So the chicken flipped, and then it means they have given us a way, like giving they have approved that we can do
Yeah.
the bridge.
The bridge. Yeah.
So we were doing the bridge, and me and then one carpenter guy, he was the one putting it together for the steam bender to put the iron rods on it and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So I was with them, and I left to go to the house to grab water. So when I came back, the guy stopped the work, and I said, "What happened?" He says, "Man, the river. I saw the river." I said, "How did you saw the river?" He said, "There's a lady coming in holding a kid, and then the kid was crying, and the lady's so pissed." And then the guy said, "Look at him." I was like, the guy did not say nothing, but the way the woman was acting, the guy was feeling weird, like, "Well, how you doing that?" So the guy came, so he get there, the woman get to the bridge and says, "Why are you doing this?" He asked the guy, "Why are you doing this?"
Mm-hmm.
The guy says, "Oh," and the guy was lucky, he was patient. He says, "Oh, um, we trying to do this bridge so that people can, when it's rain and whatever, people can able to cross it and all of that." Just so that's why you're doing it. She was asking the question direct, like somebody
Mm-hmm.
who has a problem with you, like,
Mm-hmm.
so okay, so you are doing it because of what? And then the guy explained to her, and then she says, "Okay," and then she hold the kid hands, and then they pass the bridge. The guy said as soon as they pass him, his body started, he has a chill on his body, and then
Mm-hmm.
the air around the area begin to be cool.
Wow. Yeah.
So the guy went back down, trying to hit whatever he's doing, going back to his business. He turned around, he didn't see the woman no more. He did not
Wow.
see him, and then he started getting sick. And then he came. That's why he told me about. And I was like, we were lucky that we pour libation. If not the libation we pour, something would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are working around the river, or if you're living around where the river is, whatever a nature that it might hold some power, you need to always pay attention to it. So that was
Mm-hmm.
my advice for the people, because I feel like you guys, if you start doing that, I feel like you're gonna be more connected, because I see, like, I mean, here in Florida where we live, when you are walking, you can see there's a where we normally take a walk, you can feel it that there's something there. You can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So we but the mindset is not there. People think everything is everything. Most people here think everything is everything, so they
Yeah.
don't really pay attention to it. So that is why it's happened that way. And then let me also say only one thing, and if you have any other question, you can go ahead.
Yes, you have some more questions waiting for you, but go ahead. Yes.
Right, I really want to make it quick. This one is very important.
Okay.
About spirituality and then how things happen. So when I was in Nana's house, this lady, every year Nana do celebration about the year entering the new year and all that. So this lady came, and then the spirit saw her and then says, "Hey, um, on Wednesday you're gonna have a car accident." And then the lady said, "So," and then the spirit says, "If you think I'm lying, you can bet with me and see if it won't happen." And then the lady says, "No, I cannot do that. So what should I do?" So they do a ritual. They use a pineapple that is not old, and then she will step on it 3 times. If the pineapple, like smash, if you step on it 3 times and it smashes, that means they'll be able to clear it off. So the lady did it 3 times, it did not smash, and then the spirits do another rituals and they let them try it again, and then the second time it was able to smash. So the lady was going to funeral, and then she's sitting in a public bus, and then she has a face towel. The face towel fell, and then she told the driver to stop to go get her face towel. The driver says, "If I stop, I'm leaving you here." She says, "All right, no problem. Just stop. I want my face towel back." The lady stopped and go get a face towel. The driver left. So the lady has to find another bus. While she was going, the bus she was sitting inside that day was Wednesday. The time Nana told him that's exactly time, and the bus was smashed by another car. All the passengers inside was
Oh no.
yeah,
What? And
did
then
not
she,
make
but
it.
she got
Yes,
off because she had the ritual and to get
right.
her. Yeah.
Because of the rituals she does, and then
Mm-hmm.
because she listened, she did not argue, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's why she will be able to say it's supposed to happen.
Right.
So yeah, that was a okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, okay. So we have a question. Do you know anything that can be used just from your experience about back pain? So they want to know if you heard of any ritual or remedy or anything story about back pain.
Yeah. So on the back pain, we have some remedy. I have some remedy here, but it's like ointment, and then also we have this herbs which I have to find the English word, English word of it for you.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the English word of it for you to use it, but I haven't found one here. But I have a remedy that is it's an ointment that is it's natural ointment, and then the the herbs for your back.
Okay.
We have one, we call it we use some leaves is by the river. We use some leaves is by the river that we use it. We blended it, and then when I say blended, we don't use a blender. We just blend it on
You
the we
smash it.
run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mash it over there, and then we will rub it on your back.
Hmm.
Rub it on your back where the pain comes from, and then
Hmm.
if you continue to do it for like maybe a week, and then you start feeling relief, and then
Hmm.
it's gone. And then also if you have if your veins, if you have your veins is like your veins is sometimes you feel like your something is coming off your veins
Hmm.
is like doing some stuff. We use um um what do you call it, peanut.
Hmm.
The peanut, the seed, not the one they are blended the actual peanut.
Actual peanut. Yes.
Yes, yeah, peanut. Yeah. So yeah, so you gonna put it in a bottle, and then you soak it with
Hmm.
water, leave it for like
Uh-huh.
the whole day, and then you start drinking it, and then you're gonna move it will clear things from your veins, and the
Hmm.
blood be able to flow well. Yeah, there's so much stuff to do, but I mean I have to wait for your question, and I can answer any other stuff that you have.
Yeah. Okay. So I have my question is I don't know if you remember this, so I'm not going to put you on the spot if you don't remember. But I was asking you about a spirit named Bonsu Ponima. And when I asked you about it, you were saying that Ponima, you were telling me a story about it. Do
Right.
you remember that story?
Yes,
No.
you call it Amponinamwa.
Okay. Yes.
Amponinamwa is a shrine.
Hmm.
This shrine was she was born actually. She was given birth, so she was a baby laying on the mom's lap, and
Hmm.
then the mother was feeding her, and then she turns into an um, a shrine. It turns
Mm-hmm.
into a shrine, like yeah. Why she's on top of her mother. So the name is Ampoinamwa. You see, when you are pouring libation, it says Asasi Ampoinamwa. It's very
Uh-huh.
powerful. It's very
Uh-huh.
powerful. It's dementia. That's it's very very powerful shrine. That it's from actually my side of my family is from there where this thing
Where is it?
happens.
It's where's the town?
We call it a puano, a
Uh-huh.
puano, yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
puano. That's where the Ampuinamwa comes from. So it's very powerful, very 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 powerful shrine. That it was born like a human being and turned into the spirit. So it's very very powerful. So and then everybody knows it. So when you are pouring libation, it says "Utridium asase
Mm-hmm.
ya," and then we add Ampuinamwa to it. So it's part of it. It's very very powerful in Akan culture. Yeah.
Uh-huh. So people know about that. So we're talking about cultures and stories. I
Yeah,
think that's
a
a
lot of
really
people
Mhm.
spiritual people knows it. A lot of people knows it, but because I know this, my mom told me this story because it actually happened in my my mom's side
Mhm.
where they're from, the my grandmother's. So
Mhm.
that is where it happened. So my mom told me even way before I grew up to begin to listen to when they're Paul Abishas, I see more and all that. But my mom already told me that that's where we came from. That spirit comes from some part of
Mhm.
our family and more.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my mom explained to me how it happens, and it's still work. We have people there that they sit in the hometown that and then there's also a river that is connected to that. So
Mhm.
there is nothing to play with. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I think that it's so important because you were saying like your mom told you about it. So it's a cultural story. And then later on, you learn more about it and how
Right.
it's connected, like how you pour libation and you mentioned this and you know why it's important. So do you know what that shrine does in terms of healing? You said it's powerful, but do you know? You
Oh
can
yeah,
add.
it does all kinds of things. You remember the spirit is any spirit can do more comes
Mhm.
to health, wealth, whatever you need. So
Mhm.
it depending on what you need, and then you call for. It
Mhm.
depending on what you need, because someone might be health reasons, but somebody might be work, might be businesses, might be this, might be that. So it depending on what you want, but the spirit is there for everything. They do everything because recently, my mom just told me that one of our family member, he's one of our elders in our family. He
Mhm.
been he been misusing. He actually has a bar like where they sell alcohol, and
Mhm.
then he is very wicked person. So people come there. When somebody walking over there, he's like he doesn't respect nobody. So the spirit actually walking there, and then he disrespected the spirit, and the spirit says, "You do you know?" And then the spirit actually says, "I'm this person," and then vanishes. And then the guy, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say it.
Right. Right. Come after us. Like,
You
right.
know what it is. So the thing is, when it comes like that, when you are being mentioned a lot, when you've been disrespecting people, like if you are known by someone who always bullying people, who always doing this, these are the people they always want. They will
Mhm.
come to you and then they know you're gonna bully them and then they're not gonna forgive you.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, like you said, this is so important. Storytelling is so because it's like how we learn, everything. So we're going to be
yeah.
closing soon. So I'm going to give you, you have so many. I'm going to give you one more. You can tell us one more great story. So I'll let you pick anything, any story you want to tell us. Then that'll be the last one. Then we'll close out. Yeah.
Okay, one great story. Okay, so one great story is that we went to Menchia Palace
Mm-hmm.
for a festival in Menchia Palace, and then Nana was performing, and we suddenly went down to a stream. There's a stream down there at Menchia. So Nana run over there. We were following him, down there. The spirit, that was his spirit. And then he went down there. We used a basket, and then he poured water in the basket, and then he carried the basket without leaking. The water is in the basket. The basket is not leaking. My naked eyes, I was there. And then he carried and go show to Tumfo Asante. He showed to
Mm-hmm.
him, and then he also performing miracles over there with money and all of that. Showed performance in the Menchia Palace. But the The take on this was the water was in the basket. I think
Mm-hmm.
you have seen a picture that he was carrying the basket.
Yes. Yeah.
I was there.
Mm-hmm.
It was live that he was
Wow.
carrying the water in the basket and went down to show to the king. Um, and then at the same time, um, whenever we go to a place, so you see when Nana has something that we pour something before he performs, we put we there's a there's a lighting that comes
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in a
Like a
little
fire.
pot.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That one, when he does that, it means whatever you do, whatever anybody does, it cannot work. So we went to a place when the people were performing in fire, and then they wanted other priests that doesn't perform on fire has to wait. And then jumping after they're done performing their thing, and then before they also comes, so Nana have to sit. And we were sitting there, and Nana eyes start turning to red, and then he get up, and then one of his spirit came. He get up, and then he jumped into the fire. He turned around like that, and then he sit in the fire, and the fire was gone. And then the
Wow.
people, yeah, and then now the people is against him now. Now they wanna, we have something called aguaragua.
Mm-hmm.
There's something called aguaragua. They wanna perform the aguaragua right in front of him. The aguaragua is two things. Either when you're performing, you can black out, or your leg can break. Anything can happen to you. But anytime they are doing it, chanting and doing it, by the time they get to the last point, and then their rope will tear off. It couldn't work. It couldn't work on them. So that was a one. We went. That was we called the place. We went the place called. It was a Grand Sabah that this thing happened. It was very very
Wow.
powerful moment that day. Yeah. So there's so much.
Yeah, so many. You have so
Yeah.
many stories. I think you have like a whole book of shrine stories and cultural stories that you need to tell. I did forget to ask you about one thing. I wanted to ask you about holidays and festivals such as Akwasi Day, and like, how is that looked at like culturally? So we know like every 40 days we celebrate, the ancestors. And so, but like in terms of like, how did you grow up learning about Akwasi Day and why it's important? Or is there any stories around it or anything like that?
Yeah, I started learning Akwasi there when I was in Nana's place. I didn't when I was growing up. I didn't. I know there's a Akwasi there, but I didn't know the importance of it. So before the Akwasi there, the day before Akwasi there is Dapa. Is
Mhm,
Dapa. It means Adapapa. It means a good day.
mhm,
So that's where they perform that day, and then the next day will be the Akwasi there that they also going to perform. Actually, it is the day that you don't go to the farm.
mhm. You
Don't
don't
go to
work.
the farm, you don't work, you don't do, it's like a rest day.
Mhm,
That you call on your ancestors. You call on ancestors, you pray for your ancestors. You actually they also come home and eat. So you prepare something for them. So
mhm,
it's like you do the celebration for them to remembrance of our forefathers,
mhm,
the spirits, all of that. So usually when that day is coming, the Akwasi the pa, you don't go to the farm. When you go to the farm, you might see something you don't want to see.
mhm,
Remember, um, all these things tells us to preserve our nature.
mhm,
So if you go to the farm, the natures have to relax, they have to breathe, because
mhm.
always there's a human being over there. They can't be able to do anything they want to do. So
Yeah.
they don't want to go there. Let the nature be by themselves and do
Mhm,
what they have to do. So when
mhm,
you go, you might see something you're not supposed to see. And
mhm,
then if you don't have we have some people that they have a strong heart, like they are their backbone is very, they are very thick in spirituality. So nothing will happen to them even if they see it. But majority of the people, you will come home and then get sick
mhm.
because the thing you see is beyond your imagination. You have never seen such a thing before.
Yeah.
So we don't go to the farm, because when you go to the farm, you might see something you might not see. Something might happen to you. So
Mhm,
they just want the nature to breathe. But Akwasi there is to to feed our ancestors, to talk to them, to call on them, to tell them what is happening and everything. So and then we have a wuku there. So like I said, every these days, the
mhm.
day before that day is Dapa.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have to perform a day before that day. So that day particularly, they just perform, rituals, and then relax and talk about, that's the day that you'll have to talk about issues and everything, pour libation and all of that. Yeah, so that is my little understanding of the thing.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, thank you. So, I mean, Evans, it's been such a true honor to have you with us today. Your connection to Ashanti traditions and your dedication to sharing these healing stories and practices. I mean, it's so inspiring. I love how you incorporate that into your life and incorporate that into your business. Like I said, I think you have a whole book of sharing stories. People would love to read about the cultural stories and how it relates to health and healing. But before we close, how can our viewers connect with you and learn more about your work through ENZ? I know you guys were like in Essence and talked about cultural tours and development. I know you build homes. You guys do so much. So how do people connect with you through ENZ if maybe they want to visit Ghana?
Yeah, the ENZ is ENZ underscore star culture at gmail.com. And then the Instagram is ENZ underscore co.
Okay.
Is that okay? All right. I mean, I'm not an IT.
Yeah, I can put it in the chat. No problem. I can put it.
All right. Yeah. So that is our email, and then our Instagram is over there too. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me too, and I really appreciate you. I hope the viewers take something.
No, it was good. It was humor. So we had some really good stories, and there's so many that we didn't get a chance to talk about. So we got to hear more. But thank you, Evans. And to our viewers, I want to remind you about our African and African Diaspora Natural and Traditional Medicine Certificate Program. The next cohort starts in January. You definitely want to join this cohort. All of this information that we've been sharing, if you want to learn more about, Ashanti stories, Evans is going to have more information inside the course, So, we use this time to interview our guests and talk about health and healing. But there's more information in the course. So you may want to join that course. We have payment plans. We start in January. So thank you so much for joining us today on Uncovering Hidden Healing. Be sure to tune in next Sunday for another enriching conversation. Until then, stay curious, stay healthy, and keep exploring the wonders of natural and traditional medicine. Goodbye for now. Thank you, guys.